Oke, lebih bagus. Bisa tangkap suaraku jelas.
Bisa, Kak.
Oke. Tadi saya sudah kasih Gerald 10 pertanyaan ya. Sudah disiapkan?
Sudah, Kak.
Sudah. Jadi sekarang konsepnya saya sebagai penanya, kamu sebagai yang ditanyain, sebagai pesertanya.
Oke, Kak.
Oke, jadi nanti situasinya ini kita langsung pakai bahasa Inggris ya. Jadi berpikirlah seolah-olah kita sudah dalam posisi interview yang real, gitu kan?
Ya, boleh bisa sih, Kak.
Ya, jadi nanti jangan sampai di tengah. Jadi saya kasih aturan mainnya ya. Jadi kasih aturan mainnya. Jadi yang saya siapkan di sini bahwa saya sebagai panelis, kamu sebagai apa ya, yang akan saya interview, dan bila ada beberapa pertanyaan saya yang kamu nggak jelas, bisa nanti selesai semua baru kamu kembalikan. Jadi jangan nanti kamu nggak jelas, kamu langsung tanya dalam bahasa Indonesia. Jadi usahakan meminimalisir pertanyaan dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Oke.
Gitu. Ya. Oke. Saya akan mulai. Jadi terserah kamu mau baca catatan jawabanmu di kertas atau kamu langsung mau, itu up to you. Saya juga nggak tahu kan karena kita main. Bagaimana?
Langsung saja biar sekalian latihan tuh, Kak, biar tidak.
Siap. Oke. I have read your 2 essays and I'm trying to come up with 10 questions based on your essay. So, as panelists, I want to understand about you first. Please introduce yourself and about who you are and your life motivation or something like vision mission. Your time.
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Gerald Donovan Skirombe, and you call me Gerald, and I'm from Manokwari, West Papua, and currently I'm a student major in civil engineering at the University of Papua. And beside of my study, I spend mostly my free time to active in several organizations outside and inside the campus, and also every Saturday afternoon I involved as a volunteer teacher in one of the local volunteer community named Rumah Belajar Pulau Leman, which located on a small island called Nusmapi Island, or we know it as the Lemon Island. And in 2019, I was selected as a Genver ambassador, or in English we say Youth Generation Planning ambassador for West Papua province. And my motivation in life, I think like I would like to be a great leader for the future, because I've seen like mostly the teenager, like if in Indonesia we call it zaman now, they really like don't planning their future. So I would like to give them a motivation on how to like having planning for their future. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as I read in your essay that you are living in Manokwari, West Papua now. It means Indonesia.
Yes.
Can you tell me about Manokwari? Because as I know, I only know about West Papua. And West Papua. So, but I have no idea what is Manokwari.
Okay, so basically Manokwari is the capital city of West Papua province. So West Papua and Papua is a different province. So West Papua is probably in the in the forward, yeah, and Papua is a little bit in the back. So I live in Manokwari. It is a small city, and yeah, we're surrounding with the very beautiful beaches and also a lot of nature in here.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to move. What are you proud of about Manokwari? And what would you like to tell people about Manokwari in America? Because people in America only understand about Papua, but they don't know about Manokwari. So what you want to tell people in America about your place you are living now?
Okay, so because basically I grew up in here in Manokwari, West Papua, so I would like to represent Manokwari, especially Papuan culture, by using one of the traditional bag called noken, which is, I think it's a very unique, and also it's an easy way for me to promote Indonesia, because I've seen like a lot of American people are very curious about something that new that they don't really, that they never see. So I think it's very great for me to promote Indonesian culture, and also about Manokwari, maybe about the people that we are living with in here, because especially Papuan people are very nice, very humble. I mean, mostly Indonesian people are very humble, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to move to another question. Why do you want to apply for this scholarship?
Uh-huh. Okay, so basically, I applied for Global Undergraduate Program Exchange, as I've seen the opportunity that I will get through this program, which is the first one is the educational opportunity, because from the source on the internet, I found out that the United States of America has the best quality of education system in the world, and also there are a lot of universities in the United States of America has the best quality of a civil engineering department. So therefore, I would like to learn more about civil engineering, especially in the structural of a building and also transportation system in the United States, and also I think there are several courses that I think is very important for me to study, such as construction safety and health, and also smart and sustainable city, which those courses are not available at my current university, in the University of Papua. And I think through this program, I can learn those subjects and also discuss the subject directly with the lecturers and also professors who are experts in the field of engineering. And also the main thing is because civil engineering program is a new program, new major in my university. So I think it's very great opportunity for me to learn more about civil engineering, and especially me because I'm the first batch on this program on civil engineering major. So I think it's very great for me to learn, because actually in my current university we don't have many facilities such as laboratorium and tools that we can use for practicum or do research. So yeah, I think through this program I can have those experience.
Okay. So, as I read in your essay that you are doing like volunteer for Rumah Belajar Pulau Lemon. So, how important do you think doing social activities like you are doing now?
Okay, how important it is? I think it is very important, especially like me, very as a person that I can have the how to say the privilege for me to study more, and those kids on the island doesn't have the same privilege as me, and I think it's very important for me who has the privilege, and I can share it back to the community, like the kids on the island. And also it's very important because for me as a teenager, as a young people, I think it's a great time to share my knowledge that I have to the other people, because I because the kids on the island, especially on the island, they are the next generation of the nation. So therefore, I think it's very important to give them educations since they are young.
Okay. Next, how do you influence people to get involved in social activities like this? So how you persuade or tell people about why they must join with these activities?
Okay, so basically I had experience before. So I joined as a volunteer in a Rumah Belajar Pulau Lemon like 2019, and I influenced two of my friends to join on this program. So I did I shared my picture like on the social media, and they like to see, and they ask me like, oh, what are you doing, what kind of activity you do, and I tell them, oh, I do this, I did this, and I teach the children, and they kind of like interested about it, and I said like, oh yeah, sure, you can join with me. Like I go to the island like every Saturday afternoon, so you can join with me. You can go to here, and then I can meet you there. And they say like, oh yeah, sure. So like, yeah, that's the way I use. That's the way I influence my friend. I think for the digital era right now, it's very important to us to learn how to use media. It's also for exposure to promote our activity.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you are in this scholarship and you are already in class with student in America. How's your first step to make a like interaction with your friend in class? Let's say you are in this scholarship and you are there in America. How you are going to deal with this situation?
Okay, like how can I deal with my other
In the
classmates?
first week, because as I understand, this scholarship it like takes like one semester, right? Like 6 months, let's say
6
like
months.
that. So I mean, like, how's your first step to deal with first, how to say, your new friend, your first experience, that your first week there? Can you explain it?
Okay, so personally, I really, as a person, like I really love to talk. Like I'm really curious about something new. So I probably will do like, start to talking with them. Like, hi, how are you? How you doing? Like that, and start. I think from that I can like making a new connection, making new friendship. So yeah, I will like, more engaged and more active to interact with especially with the American people.
Okay, noted. So okay. Now I'm going to talk about your personal life, personal, how to say, personal of you. What are your weaknesses and how do you make your weaknesses to be your strength?
Okay. This is uh kind of like very good questions. So my weaknesses is honestly like when I got too much homework or something that I have to do, I really easy to get stressed. So I think how can I make my weaknesses to be my strengthness is I will like how to say like my weakness. Um, I will try to okay, I'm sorry. Can I repeat?
Yeah, you can start again. You can
Okay.
start over.
Okay. So I'm sorry before. So honestly, like my weaknesses is I really easy to get stressed. So I think how can I make that stress to be my strengthness? I think is um uh strength. Wait, what? Oh my
Why? Why you are like quiet?
Okay.
What happened?
I'm a little like thinking about it. So my uh, it is.
Okay, you said that your your weakness is you are easy being stressed,
Yes.
and it is.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, how your stress, if you manage well, can be your strength?
Okay, my stress. How can I manage my stress? Like, can be the
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
Um. Oh, and I think this is very tough questions.
Hmm?
Uh, uh,
Why?
okay. I'm sorry, I cannot.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Pass.
okay.
Okay. Uh, Many people
Uh-huh.
side of Papua said that Papua is not safe. How do you break this stigma? So you can tell everybody that outside in is not, I mean like this. You are living in Papua
Mm-hmm.
and you are feeling you are here and you know people here. So
Mm-hmm.
how you can tell people that Papua Papua is safe? Papua is not safe. So how you want to tell people about this stigma? So you won't say to people that no, you are wrong. Papua is safe. So how you make like contradictory about the Papua is safe. Papua is not safe. So can you explain it?
Okay, how I explain like Papua is still safe, like very safe for me because I people say like, yeah, I'm still in here. I grow in here. I uh, live in here, and I'm still okay with it. I'm still alive, like that. Like it's very safe, and maybe it's like the part in other Papua is maybe a little bit kind of chaotic, but in the place where I live is totally safe. Like it's just some of the people, but mostly Papuan people are very nice and very humble, and they're very like, um, how to say, friendship. Yeah. So I think it's pretty. That's how I will tell them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Because people that they are not living in Papua, they just know about from the news.
Mm-hmm.
They only understand Papua from TV and newspaper. So I mean like it's like your job to tell people that I'm here, I'm in Papua, I'm okay. So yeah. So you must understand that you must like how to say ambassador of Papua to tell people about this is my home country. I was born here and yeah, I'm okay, something like that, right? So that's why I'm asking you, how do you break this stigma that you already answered it?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. This is Do you have pets?
I do have.
What kind of what pets you have now?
So I have two dogs, which is they are not having like kind of what kind of dog, but they are kind of like kampung dog. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how long have you been with this dog? How long have you been with this dog?
Okay, so with these two dogs, I've been with them probably with oh I have two dogs. So the first one is like 2 years old, and the second one was like 1 year. So basically, I have a dog before that. I have very lovely dog. His name is Stinky, but he died in 2009 in 2018, and it was like really the tough moment for us, like because he was been with me like since I was in the sixth grade. So he just like looked like our family. Even my mom, my dad, they were like crying when he died. So like it was this tough moment because we treat our dog like our family member though. Like yeah. So we have kind
Okay. So what does the dogs mean for your life?
It's like
So you just said like they are your family member. So how's the feeling? How's the how to say the connect with you? How's these animals? What does this animal mean for your life?
what does animal mean for my life is friends. Because like when I sat, oh no, that was one story about Stinky. So it was back then when I was still in elementary school. So there was an earthquake. So I was with my brother. We were just two only of us at home, and it was like an earthquake. So I was like really scared. And my dog Stinky, he was just like be with me. Like oh, I was like a little bit cry, and he was just like beside me, like literally like beside me. So it's like, oh damn, oh he's really nice, he's really good. Like he can be our friends when we're feeling sad, but he sometimes he can be like wild when maybe he's hungry or they're hungry. But when I come to home, they just like welcoming us like the way the dog welcoming us, like shaking their tails, shaking their ears, something like that. So dogs mean for me like friendship.
Okay. I think that's my 10 question about you and from your essays. So do you have any question?
How about my question about the strength and the weakness? Is it okay for me to not answer the question?
Do you want to answer it now?
Probably not. I don't.
Sorry?
Probably not.
You don't want it? Okay.
Yeah, because
Oke. Kelar ya ini ya. Saya mau koreksi.
Oke.
Ini baru rehearsal ya, belum realnya. Realnya tanggal 20 berarti minggu depan ya, hari Selasa.
Iya.
Ya. Apalagi sekarang kamu ini nanti akan live. Kalau saya dulu beruntung, bersyukurnya saya dulu itu langsung ketemu. Iya, kalau kamu ini kan on air ya. Iya, kalau kemarin saya kan off air.
Jujur nih kayak kalau menurut saya lebih prefer untuk kayak di person dibanding online gini, karena beda feelingnya begitu. Kalau ya tapi lagi.
Iya betul. Jadi gini, saya coba koreksi ya. Yang ini bukan one by one question, tapi berdasarkan yang saya dengar tadi dari kamu. Inggrismu bagus sih menurutku. How you speak is like fluent, tapi terlalu panjang. Kita kebingungan ketika menangkap ini poinnya apa ya gitu loh. Ini poinnya apa loh? Karena saya baca ini di peraturan interviewnya kalian hanya punya waktu 10 sampai 15 menit gitu loh. 10 sampai 15 menit. Dan tadi tuh menurut apalagi tadi waktu saya tanya tentang kamu yang tentang what are you proud of about Manokwari? What would you like to tell me about Manokwari in America? Kamu terlalu general. Kamu harus lebih cari tahu apa ya Manokwari dibandingin kota-kota lain di maksudnya dibandingin tempat lain gitu. Sebenarnya lebih fokusnya di situ. Kalau saya sih bilangnya ya maksudnya kalau Manokwari ya ini sih
buah.
Nanti kamu coba cari tahu dah kalau apa sih yang kamu ingin sharekan tentang Manokwari gitu. Apa yang kamu ingin share tentang Manokwari? Itu sebenarnya jawabannya terlalu general menurut saya dan terlalu panjang. Jadi mulai belajar fokus untuk kalimat-kalimat yang karena kan
to the point gitu.
Ya, to the point. Karena gini, nanti yang sepanjang pengalaman saya as my experiences, karena nanti yang interview kita juga orang kita juga gitu loh. Orang kita juga. Dan kamu ini kesannya harus bercerita tentang Manokwari. Manokwari itu seperti apa sih gitu loh. Dan kamu harus unggulkan, misalnya karena kamu tinggal di Manokwari, ya kamu bilang tuh, yang saya tahu, kamu pernah hidup di Jawa, pernah ke Jawa nggak? Pernah hidup di Jawa nggak?
Ya, pas dulu, tapi zaman masih kecil tuh udah 2 tahun sih Kak, masih umur 8 tahun.
Kalau saya kan karena sudah merantau kemana-mana kan, jadi kalau di Manokwari ini saya lihat kayak buah, saya nggak tahu bahasa Inggrisnya apa ya, buah talas itu gede-gede, besar-besar kayak pahanya manusia toh. Tapi kalau talas itu di Jawa itu kecil-kecil segini-segini, hanya 2 ini, nah, gitu. Jadi buahnya tuh di sini kayak unik-unik. Kalau itu, jadi kita cari keunggulannya Manokwari apa. Terus di sini terkenal ikannya. Emang ya istilahnya kita cari yang positif, yang untuk di-share gitu.
Iya Kak.
Positif. Jadi Gerald harus share tentang, kadang-kadang menurut kita remeh-temeh ya, tapi menurut orang yang mendengarkan tuh ternyata wow gitu. Karena beberapa kali saya bawa, itu kan penyelenggaranya beasiswa kalian kan pernah ke Manokwari. Dan mereka pun pernah saya ajak. Mereka kaget, ternyata di sini ikannya enak ya. Ternyata di sini ikannya segar ya. Itu hal sepele memang. Dan kita nggak mikir ke sana gitu loh. Oh, ternyata mereka senang dengan hal-hal seperti ini gitu loh. Oh, ternyata ikan di sini tuh enak ya. Kan kalau di Jawa kan mungkin makan ikan laut kan agak susah dan memang mahal. Gitu. Jadi talas itu bukan ubi. Ada yang nonton ya, ada temanku. Talas bukan ubi kalian ya. Talas ya talas. Kalau ubi itu petatas. Kalau talas itu keladi.
Petatas Kakak.
Keladi. Ya?
Petatas.
Kalau ubi itu petatas. Tasbi itu singkong. Kalau talas itu keladi. Kalau di sini kita bilangnya keladi. Jadi hal-hal sederhana itu yang istilahnya kalau orang kan, karena saya pun ketika datang ke Manokwari saya sedikit nganga ketika lihat keladi itu gede-gede, atau kalau enggak singkong yang besar-besar. Kan kalau kita di Jawa itu kecil-kecil gitu, jadi kayaknya 5 kali lipat lah besar. Jadi hal-hal sepele yang menurutmu kayak nggak mungkin gitu loh, kayak lucu gitu. Terus apalagi tadi ya, nah ini yang nomor 9, yang tadi bilang many people outside Papua say that Papua is not safe. How do you break this stigma? Jadi banyak orang di luar Papua bilang kalau Papua itu nggak aman. Jadi bagaimana kamu mematahkan stigma ini, kalimat ini? Ya, kamu ceritakan ya, betul yang tadi kamu bilang. Gerald tadi bilang, ya saya hidup di sini ya, hari ini saya masih ada, berarti aman. Itu. Terus tambahannya kamu bilang, dan bagusnya di Papua itu, mau di kota-kota, di daerah terpencil pun, kita semua pakai bahasa Indonesia. Nah, hal-hal itu. Jadi kalau kita kan rata-rata di Papua ini bagusnya mau daerah kampung pun terpencil, mereka masih menggunakan bahasa Indonesia gitu.
Pasti mengerti.
Nah, itu hal itu. Iya, dia mengerti bahasa Indonesia. Jadi itu hal-hal yang sepele kita nggak pikirkan, tapi sebenarnya itu jadi uniqueness-nya tentang Papua dan uniqueness-nya tentang Manokwari. Gitu. Jadi apa namanya? Terus kamu juga bisa cerita apa ya, tentang apa lagi ya, tentang Manokwari ya. Terus enaknya tuh kalau ya karena kamu kan nggak tahu Papua di tempat lain kan, maksudnya daerah Papua ini sangat luas. Yang kamu tahu hanya Manokwari, ya kamu ceritakan tentang pantainya lah. Ya saya bersyukur meskipun saya dibilang saya kuliah, berarti kan kota modern, tapi saya dikelilingi oleh pantai. Dan saya kalau stres, saya pergi ke pantai. Saya bisa menghibur diri, saya nggak perlu membayar uang tiket untuk masuk. Itu hal-hal sederhana, ya. Hal-hal sederhana yang sebenarnya jadi luar biasa ketika orang lain di luar Papua tidak tahu. Jadi kayak ke pantai, pantainya masih bersih, airnya biru, terus kita nggak perlu membayar untuk masuk ke pantai. Jadi hal-hal sepele sebenarnya. Terus makan ikan segar, kita nggak perlu susah cari ikan segar, tinggal kalau mau mancing sendiri bisa. Kita pergi ke pasar ikan yang benar-benar ikannya hari itu dipancing langsung kita bisa beli. Itu hal sederhana. Tapi kalau kita tinggal di Jawa, hal itu jadi mahal karena memang susah. Gitu. Jadi hal-hal sepele yang coba kamu explore more tentang Papua, karena suka atau tidak suka, beasiswa apapun itu kita akan jadi ambassador tentang Indonesia. Nanti orang akan spesifik lagi, dari mana kamu? Gitu. Ya memang kalau masih tahap di sini, ya kalau kamu masih tahap interview seperti sekarang, ya kamu lebih promosikan tentang Manokwari, gimana kamu melamar dari Manokwari, gitu. Karena beberapa pertanyaan dulu juga sering, yang beberapa ini ada yang pernah ditanyakan ke saya. Apa yang kamu mau ceritakan tentang Manowari dan apa yang kamu ingin share di Amerika tentang Manowari? Gitu. Kita ini suka nggak suka akan jadi ambassador-nya Manowari. Pada saat interview ini kamu kan diceritakan more tentang Manowari. Terus nanti kalau kamu akan ketemu, nanti kan biasanya kan nanti ada macam apa ya, kayak satu malam yang kita akan memperkenalkan tentang budaya kita. Gitu. Kalau di Amerika. Oke, terus next tentang yang kelemahanmu menjadi kekuatanmu, itu yang kamu harus cari. Karena itu dulu pertanyaan muncul saya juga. Apa kelemahanmu? Bisa nggak kelemahanmu itu jadi kekuatanmu? Gitu. Itu harus kamu pikirkan. Berarti menandakan kamu berpikirnya sudah dewasa, sudah bisa menyikapi hal-hal menyikapi hal-hal yang buruk menjadi hal kebaikan gitu loh. Kan kalau di Amerika yang saya tahu itu orang diajari cara berpikir, bukan instan. Jadi di sana itu kita itu tidak pernah dibilang salah atau betul. Tapi makanya di sana tuh sering ada namanya kayak pekerjaan tuh harus kayak tugas-tugas kuliah itu kayak riset. Kamu kerjakan ini. Bagaimana what is your opinion about this case? Selalu seperti itu. Nah,
dimintai pendapat.
Dan makanya mereka bagaimana?
Dimintai pendapat begitu ya.
Iya, bukan dimintai pendapat lagi. Kadang-kadang dosen masih ngomong pun mereka sudah berani kasih pendapat. Saya juga nganga pertama, gila ya. Mereka berani langsung ini. Ya kalau mahasiswa orang sana yang tinggal di sana, karena mereka paham situasi di Amerika, pastinya banyak. Kalau saya kan karena baru datang, jadi bagusnya begini. Kalau di sana kan dosen tuh ada jadwal. Jadi minggu ini belajar tentang materi ini, minggu ini belajar tentang materi ini. Jadi sebelum saya